Hey guys, welcome to my channel, My Cake Game. I'm Tasha. If you're new here and if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, so every time I post a new video, you guys will be notified and you won't miss a beat. This week, I'm really pumped up because I'm making a super cool, gigantic chocolate chip cookie cake. I cannot wait to show you guys. It's either going to be hit or miss. Either I'm going to make this work or I'm not. But whatever the finished product is, you guys are definitely going to see it. Now, please watch my video all the way through because it does help a small YouTuber like myself. And also, please share the video with your family and friends, and let's get into this giant chocolate chip cookie cake. Hey guys, so we're back, and this is the cake that we are going to shape into a giant chocolate chip cookie. And I have it on this clear piece of acrylic because you never want to try and cut into a cake on the cake board, because you don't want to cut into the cake board. And what we're going to be doing is just trimming down those sides. Don't worry about if you kind of cut it a little gnarly, it's okay. The key here is to cut it on an angle so the ends can be totally thin. We're gonna cut them. We want those edges thin as possible because that's how a real chocolate chip cookie cooks out. And I'm just going to take the scraps, just toss them on the countertop. I'll clean it up later, it's not a big deal. And that's why I like working off of a acrylic piece. And we're going to go all around the cake. But the easy thing about this is that the cut doesn't have to be perfect. For example, this gap here can be filled in with a giant chocolate chip, and we'll get to that later. But for now, we are just gonna keep on cutting this delicious triple chocolate cake. And it only takes a couple of minutes because, again, we aren't going for perfection because there's no two chocolate chip cookies that looks alike. Now we pretty much have the base of the chocolate chip cookie formed. You just want to make sure it's on an angle, and we're just gonna now cut some grooves here and there because that's how, like I said, a real chocolate chip cookie is. There is no set way to do this. I'm just cutting nice grooves and continuously perfecting the edges. We want those edges to be as thin as possible because we need this to look or mimic a real chocolate chip cookie. So we're just going to keep taking the knife, and you want a knife with the ridges on it because it definitely is going to help thin out the edges of the cake. So I'm just going to continue on and cut some grooves here and there. Okay, so now let's get ready to crumb coat. Here is the buttercream that I'm going to use to crumb coat. I actually put cookie butter in here and it tastes so yummy. So if you ever want to spruce up your American buttercream, just add a little butter or cookie butter or whatever it is that's your choice. Now this does look a little gnarly because you can see some of the crumbs. Don't worry about it, because what's happening is that when we're putting on the crumb coat, is actually pulling some of the crumbs off the cake. So that sometimes cannot be helped, but don't worry about it. Just keep going and take your time and get in all the little grooves, because once this gets firm, it's not going to matter, because your final coat of buttercream is going to be nice and smooth, and it won't have all the crumbs in it. So I would prefer to have beautiful buttercream with no crumbs, but for me, it's not realistic. So let's go ahead and knock this out, and then in the fridge we'll put it for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Okay, so I finished putting the fondant on and adjusted the lighting. Hopefully you guys can see it much better. Now we're going to put on the giant chocolate chip cookie, we're going to put some Hershey Kisses, because they make the perfect chocolate chip. And we're just going to kind of just ease them in randomly, just like a real cookie. There's no real rhyme or reason here. I'm just going to just put them in. Okay, you can see I'm pretty much done adding my chocolate chips. We've got a little bit of bulging around the sides. I don't really care about that. I can just clean that up later. But this is really looking like a real chocolate chip cookie. So I'm going to add a couple of more chocolate chips and we'll pretty much be finished. Okay, so I cleaned all of that up, put on some extra Hershey Kisses, but now we're going to add some Hershey's Cocoa. And a real chocolate chip cookie, or all cookies, tend to get a little bit more brown around the edges. So what I already started doing was just adding a little bit of this cocoa to the bottom of the cookie. And you want to do it slow because you don't want the brush to dig into the fondant because it's really soft right now. So you want to take it nice and easy. And then I did have a couple little spots where the fondant raised up. I'm not worried about that at all. But in terms of putting the Hershey cocoa, you just want to be careful because you don't want the buttercream to get into the brush and then it won't brush on as beautifully as it possibly can. Now I actually like how this looks, but the cookie still looks like it's not really cooked all the way. So I'm just going to just simply dust a little bit of this just all over. Okay guys, so we're back. I've cleaned up everything. As you can see, I added extra Hershey's cocoa to the bottom. You want to add a little bit more because you want this to look like the edges have browned like a natural chocolate chip cookie would do. I'm really happy with this cake. This cake is totally easy to do. And I cleaned up the chocolate chips a little bit, and I am just so super stoked about it. So if you guys are looking for Father's Day cakes to make and you're not sure, you can easily do this cake. Just follow the video and you can totally do it. All right guys, that's it. Pretty straightforward and simple. This can make a perfect birthday cake. Father's Day is coming up. A perfect Father's Day cake. All you need is one 9-inch pan, or you can do it smaller in an 8-inch pan. You can choose to do a box cake or do it from scratch, but you only need one layer. So if you wanted to use 2 different pans, you can do 2 different cakes. But at any rate, it's easy. This was super fun. I totally loved the way it came out, and I'm sure if you guys try it, you would like it too. Surprise your dad or your granddad. They would really get a kick out of this. As always, please subscribe, hit the notifications, and be sure to watch my videos all the way through because it really does help a small YouTuber like myself. This looks good enough to eat, right? This is awesome. It was fun to do. I enjoyed it, and everybody will get a big kick out of it. Until next week, I'll see you guys later, and be sure to get your cake game on. See you later.